Welcome to Dose of Vinyl, a special broadcast right here on WCOM, LP Chapel Hill, Carborough.
You know, I remember a few years ago, some funny things used to happen to me. About 1956, 57. At that time, there was no blues scene or not really any kind of scene in London. I used to go out and play my guitar in the streets and sing things with passing the hat round. I remember one particular night, I was playing my guitar in a little alleyway just off of Wardour Street in Soho, and I got busted by the police. And this policeman came up and dragged me and my guitar and my hat full of pennies off to the police station. Anyway, the next day, I had to appear in Marlborough Street Police Court. And it was quite a day. Police officer giving his evidence. I was proceeding in a southerly direction, my lord, when I heard strange sounds coming from Wardour Place, my lord. A sort of boogie-woogie music was being played. On further investigation, I saw the defendant standing there with a guitar and an old hat on the floor, collecting pennies. Well, I decided that he was contravening a breach of the peace there, as there was a traffic jam about 5 miles long down Wardour Street, wondering what all the fuss was about. So then I arrested the defendant. Just one moment, officer. What is this boogie-woogie music you were talking about? Oh, well, my lord, said the officer, getting out his notebook, obviously been doing up his homework. Is a kind of jazz rhythm music peculiar to the American Negro. Oh, what was the defendant doing playing this kind of music there in Wardour Street? Anyway, I got off with a caution. A year's conditional discharge. But I'll always remember that policeman and his boogie-woogie. So don't try to lay no boogie-woogie on the king of rock and roll.
Cause late 45, but your head's in 53. You got what it takes, keep my heads a spinning down by the old red shack. But you come on just like a fool grinning in the back of a red Cadillac. You can't come across the Oxville Bridge until you pay the toll. So don't try to make no boogie woogie. I'm the king of rock and roll. Lights out.
What do you think, Grateful D? Not bad.
That's pretty hot stuff, man.
All right. That's how you start a show. Let's welcome folks tonight, a special broadcast here on WCOM. Dose of Vinyl. Got two guys in the studio with me. Grateful Dave running around behind me, which is making me a little bit nervous. Erik Kershaw, Bernie Wade. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, man. We're excited. We've been wanting to get you on the air for a while, so here you are.
Absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Fantastic. Tell me about what we just listened to, guys.
All right, that was Long John Baldry. Don't try to lay no boogie woogie on the king of rock and roll.
Woo!
Tremendous tune. Little story behind that. If you're familiar with Elton John, which everybody is, I'm sure.
Wait, hold on. Elton who? I've never heard
Elton
of
John.
Okay. All right.
His name, John, comes from John Baldry's name.
Interesting.
He was the one described in the song, Someone Saved My Life Tonight. He was one of the two that saved Elton John's life.
Really?
Yep. He got him to accept who he was.
Wow.
Yep.
What year do you think
Bernie
we're talking?
Taupin. Early to mid-'70s.
I seem to remember that right around 1970, 71 that happened.
Yeah.
That's what's so interesting. Elton John, household name.
Yep.
Long John, I mean, you guys have heard of him. I've never heard of him before 5
Well,
minutes
truth be
ago.
told, I didn't hear about him until I met Bernie
Yeah.
a few months back. He actually introduced me to the artist, and I was more taken aback by the fact that the record had collaboration by artists that I was familiar with, Elton John and Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
So he threw that on for me, and actually I put it on my list of must-haves.
Yeah.
And we were out in Burlington on a shop a few months back,
Yep.
and it was in the bin, and I brought it home.
That record right there.
Well, no, that's Bernie's. I have a copy of it at home.
But tell me about that record. You were saying one side is one artist and the other side
Absolutely.
is another.
Yeah, one side is produced by Rod Stewart,
Okay.
and the other side is produced by Elton John. It's the same John Baldry on both sides.
And they're collaborating on the record
Right.
themselves. You'll hear them singing and
Yeah.
being a part of it.
Is that typical to have a record where?
Not really. I'm sure there are some others.
Yeah, that's
but,
unique.
It is. I would think it's very unique.
Well, welcome again, folks. We're doing a special broadcast tonight. The brainchild of the one and only Grateful Dave. So if it goes horribly, that's who. Just remember, Grateful Dave was who put this thing together. You're welcome to call in. The phone number is 919-246-9639. We're chatting about vinyl for the next couple of hours. These guys brought cases of records. Everyone seems to have a cool story is what I've learned so far, just kind of hanging out with you guys. Erik, Bernie, you both recently moved to Chapel area?
Yes,
Chapel
I
Hill
came
area?
from Connecticut.
Yeah.
I moved down here from Virginia. We both moved down here during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just happened to cross paths with one another. One of us on our way to the post box, and the other was returning from the
Yep.
post box.
So you met down here.
Yeah, he
Yep.
had a Tommy Bolin T-shirt on.
Yeah.
And I says, "Oh, you're into music."
Yeah.
And we started talking, and the rest is history.
Here you are.
Yep.
Like many, the isolation and the opportunity to interact with somebody, and
Yeah.
immediately when I found somebody that had something in common with me, and I was in a new neighborhood,
Right.
I probably came across like a lunatic. You know, it's like, it's ready to glom on. Come on over, hear my music now, man. It's that kind of thing. So.
But listen, guys, we're of a certain age. It is harder and harder to make friends. It's harder to move to a new town.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so it's cool that you guys found something to quickly bond and vibe over.
Yeah, I back in Connecticut back in the day would get together with friends and just play tunes, and that's to me a lost art. And
Yeah.
meeting Erik, which is something we now do,
Yeah.
get together and play tunes.
Yeah.
We
absolutely.
trade albums. It's great having two libraries to access,
Right.
and we have a lot of similar tastes. But
Have we reached the point in the friendship where we can loan each other records?
we've been
absolutely.
doing that right along.
Yeah,
Okay.
right from the
Because you
onset.
guys remember when Nintendo came out, our friends would not loan us discs, me and my brother, the cartridges, because we never gave them back.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's part of your deal.
Well, I think we come from a generation where there's just a certain code of honor.
There's a code.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
associated with
Absolutely.
vinyl.
Patrick Baldera, if you're listening, I apologize. In 1988, I stole Super Mario Brothers, and I still haven't returned it. He's still pissed at us.
Well, one of my passions with music is sharing it.
Yeah,
I love turning other people on to music I like. I
Yeah.
love having them turn me on to music.
Yeah.
That's how you find out about
I
new
definitely
stuff.
can attest to we both have very eclectic tastes. There's a lot of commonality, but there are a lot of really incredible differences
Yeah.
in the music that each of us listen to. And I've found some of the music that Bernie's turned me on to be just so cool. And,
Yeah.
and that brought to attention that, the markets in different areas of the country during the time that I grew up were very different. If you were in the East Coast near college, you were being exposed to a different type of scene as in
Interesting.
the Southwest. And, the bands that I grew up with it seemed like the mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of underground type stations. So I was hearing the Zeppelins, the Floyds, the Sabbaths, the stuff like that.
Right.
And then I meet Bernie and I suddenly get turned on to a band called Klaatu. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. And Nectar and
Yeah.
bands like that.
Look at that record.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's been really a great meeting of this person here. I'm genuinely happy to.
Yeah, that makes two of us. It's been tremendous.
Can we disclose why you gentlemen moved down to North Carolina?
I'm looking to try to segue into retirement sometime soon.
You came to a good place.
Yeah, the music down here is incredible. It seems to be very laid back. That was it. I'm still holding down a job for a little bit longer, and once that comes to an end, this is where my next chapter is truly going to begin.
Warmer weather, good lifestyle.
Yep.
It's an easy place to live. It really
A
is.
lot of great record stores, a lot of incredible music
That's for
around
sure.
here to see
Yeah.
and listen to. So that's the excitement.
Getting ready for tonight, I popped into just right here on Franklin Street. It's Used Kids Records, 2 blocks from where we're sitting right now. And the manager was like, "Oh yeah, this is great. I'll listen." And he put our flyer up, and it was just cool, just chit chatting with him. And you're right. I mean, the shops are out there.
One of the things I think that a lot of the kids today haven't had the benefit of is, I think between the years of like 52 and 82, teenagers really had, the only way they had access to music was going to these record stores and through the
Yeah.
radio. And you would meet a lot of people at record stores. And then
Yeah.
you'd go home and you'd listen to your record and you'd have friends over, like Bernie was mentioning.
Yeah.
And you'd sit around and listen to your records. Once the multimedia and the internet came into play and the access of media changed vastly,
Changed it, yeah.
that intimacy that we used to establish with music it was vastly changed. For me, the record's never been something that I've been able to let go of,
Right.
because it is a physical relationship with something, and you have to listen to it. You put the needle on, you walk away, and you listen to the music. You're not skipping songs, you're not building a playlist, although you can, or you can take it off if you so desire, or, knock your bong across the record and wipe out the record. But those things happen too. So it is a very, very cool relationship.
Yes, hanging out at the shop for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It was just
Absolutely.
a cool thing to
Absolutely.
be
Bare
in.
minimum.
Absolutely.
And I never had any money, so I was there just to kind of look around. And then, but I remember the transition kind of to records. Then it was tapes, and then it was CDs.
So do I, and I thought it was
Yeah.
cool. So cool
Yeah.
that, I didn't collect it for a long time.
And you remember
one
when
day-
the first kind of downward trend of records, I guess you'd say mid-'80s or whatever, and the records got thinner and thinner and thinner, and
Yep.
the artwork kind of less and less, and then tapes, and then, but here we are, full circle.
Yep, full
Absolutely.
circle.
And why are you here?
Okay. I have segued into retirement.
Ah,
Okay,
congratulations.
for the most part.
Come on, everyone. Retirement round of applause. Let's go.
Thank you very much. We came down from Connecticut, my wife and I moved down about a year and a half ago. We wanted to get away from the expense of Connecticut. It's a beautiful state, but the New York City type rat race exists, and I had to get away from that. And the weather.
Yeah.
The weather was a big thing too, big factor. We
can't
miss
beat
our
the weather.
kids,
Can't
we
beat
miss
the-
our friends. We
Yeah.
go back from time to time, but that's how we ended up down here.
That's great.
One of the things that I've noticed, I was thinking about this recently, is listening to vinyl. I think people listen more intently.
Yeah,
It's a little bit more work.
it is.
It is.
Later on in the show, if all goes well, we're going to hear from the co-directors of Vinyl Nation, Kevin Smokler and Chris Boone, and they made this awesome documentary
Yeah,
that's
it is
Absolutely
very
great
good.
doc.
circulating right now. The line from the film that stuck out to me, so much so that I named my episode with Kevin after it. Someone said in the film, they're drawn to the inconvenience.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, I
and
wrote
that's
that
kind of
down in my notes,
and-
too.
And you
Yep.
can apply that to a lot of interesting different things in life that man, there's an easy way to do everything now, but there's that draw.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think you're detached from it, and that inconvenience is part of the attachment. Having to take it out, having to run a brush across it,
Yeah.
having to look at the art, having to put it on that turntable.
Being careful not to scratch it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Raising the needle, putting it in that certain spot,
Yeah.
letting it hit, and then just boom. It's
And
magic.
it is. And speaking of where everyone came from, no one knows why Grateful Dave's in this town, but here he is. He's right here.
Even I don't know why.
Even Dave doesn't know. Well, let's hit him with another song, guys. What do we have for lined up for number 2?
We've got some J.J. Cale for y'all.
Right on.
All right, here we go.
J.J. Cale.
Oh, man. Who was that again? JJ?
J.J. Cale, and that was Cocaine. That's off Troubadour, 1977. I'll give you the rest of the label details, but it might bore you a little bit.
That's all right.
This was just part of a collection that I happened to stumble on here recently. An owner was getting ready to go to Florida, and he had about 167 records that he wanted to give away. And I picked all those up, and this is one that was in there. And the cool thing about this record specifically is the song, right? Cocaine.
That
It's
was
an
cool.
anti-cocaine song,
Yeah.
if you really listen to the lyrics. And the following year, Clapton took this, and he made this a huge hit for himself. And everybody associates that song with Eric Clapton, and not knowing that J.J. Cale was the guy that wrote it.
JJ Cale, you said 1 year before Clapton made it famous?
Absolutely.
It's always interesting, too, when there's a song that is an anthem to something, but then the audience thinks it's the anthem to the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's singing that song, and it's all about anti-cocaine
Yeah.
when you really
Yeah.
think about it, man.
Tell me about this sweet Elvis record I'm looking at.
Being in this business of, and I shouldn't call it a business, but it is a personal love of mine, of collecting things, specifically vinyl. Over the years, I've accumulated various things, and this particular record is Elvis's Back. It's got some unique isms to it, which make it an $80 record. But the cool thing about the record is the story that it has. It wasn't mine to begin with, and I don't know whose it was before mine. And when I got it home and was really going through it, I suddenly realized that on the inside of it, the person included an article from the Washington Star that was from the week of his passing. So
wow.
there's a thing in here, a tribute to Elvis and his death, that was part of a Washington Star newspaper.
And so he just put it in there
Yep.
for like a keepsake.
Absolutely.
And passed that along to
I'm
you
using
as
that
part of the
word way
package.
too much. I gotta
Yeah.
stop using that word, Eric.
What,
Don't
absolutely?
Use that word again.
Which word?
Absolutely.
Someone, Grateful D, we need a thesaurus over here.
I need a fallback here, real quick.
I go back and listen to my shows after I do them, and I'll say the same thing like 15 times. Like it happens all the time.
Stuff
so.
happens. That's all I can
Yeah,
say. Right?
that is cool. So, guys, you're talking about kind of a diamond in the rough record there. So now that the vinyl industry is where it is, it's not, it's different today than it was in 1990. Is that
Absolutely,
fair?
Absolutely.
So how hard
again.
is it now to stumble upon a record and you're like, I can't believe my eyes. I'm at a flea market. This should be $100 and it's $7. Does that still happen in 2022?
It still happens, but it's far
rare.
less frequent.
Yeah, it's rare.
Yeah.
And to find that special album, say albums you had years ago, or one you spotted years ago, you're most likely used. You're not going to find it
Beat
now.
up, probably,
Yeah,
if anything.
most likely.
So what's the trick today to finding that? I mean, you just got to pay for it. I mean,
It's so competitive. I mean, there's estate sales, there's auctions.
Yeah.
There's just tons of different ways to. I came by 176 of them and didn't pay a dime. And in those 176, I have not this one.
not part of
I
it,
have
okay.
copies of records that are worth $40 or so based on the
goodness.
pricing on Discogs. And this individual just gave them away.
Yeah.
Those things still happen, but the rarity, everybody knows now. The collectors know, the shop owners. You're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
If you walk in and it's a Sam Cooke title from 1960, you're
Yeah.
looking at $100 for something like that.
So the education level of the industry is just
Another thing you need is patience. You have to be willing to put the time in to do the crate
Yeah.
digging, as
Yeah.
it were.
crate digging. Yeah.
Yep. You go from one shop to another, and you need to spend the time.
So you guys bond over your love of vinyl right here in the Tar Heel State as you're either in or approaching retirement, and you start a group on Nextdoor. Let's get into that. Give us the elevator pitch on your Nextdoor thing.
I don't want to belabor the whole pandemic thing, but we had a tough go where people were pretty much isolated, and social media was one of our outlets.
Sure.
Trying to avoid the craziness that's associated with social media is probably a challenge in itself. But I think all of us have one thing in common, and it's music. Music is a pretty common bond with everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you stay away from the politics, you're doing a pretty good job. And so I just started up this little thing and posted records daily and met Bernie. And
You met first and then started the dose?
the group started beforehand.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it was a godsend for me.
Yeah. Because you're kind of in a similar boat.
Yes, as I told you before, we used to play music all the time when I
Yeah.
was in Connecticut. I miss those days. They're
Yeah.
long since gone. I love talking about music, I love
Yeah.
playing it, listening to it, and this was right up my alley.
So you get here, you start a dose of vinyl on Nextdoor. I bet when people saw your post and your group, they were like, "Oh, finally something unique and different." That's what attracted.
Yep,
So you
absolutely.
get that started, and what's it like a typical post? Someone just says, "Oh, check out this record I found," kind of thing.
Well, I think we each bring that when individuals contribute to the platform, they each bring something unique to whatever it is that they're posting. A gentleman recently he's been putting up a cover a day for 23 days.
Yeah.
And he bought all these records on the same day 50 years ago. So he's just giving us a little bit about these.
That's so
Pretty cool, yeah.
Bernie goes into a really good historical context for the records that he posts. So he'll give you a lot of insights to the members of musicians, who is related to who might have played on something else.
Yeah, I
some
call it
personal aspect
connecting the
of
dots.
it that's in
Yeah.
there. I contribute stories that are more personal in nature, sometimes probably to, again, my wife would tell you, to a fault. You're sharing far too much, Erik. So.
Well, give us an example. Like, what was your last post?
Well, I think I put up one a couple days back about Led Zeppelin 4, and I think, I don't want to get too misogynistic or anything like that, but I found myself learning the facts of life to Led Zeppelin 4, And so there's particular songs that are there. Another example would be when the levee breaks and your mother coming through the door as you're holding the bong, and your buddies are all trying to get out the back door, and the last guitar lick to that song is playing, and your mom's standing there, who works for the FBI, incidentally. So it's all fun, It's all fun until you get caught, anyway.
I really enjoy, I've always gone through liner notes.
Yeah.
And I love the artwork and all that. But I remember finding out matter of fact, one of the things I wanted to talk about, connecting people to different groups, albums.
Yeah.
He played over here, the whole thing with Elton John. Stuff like that I really love.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
a lot of it had kind of gone out of my memory. So when I do a post, I'll go on Wikipedia. I'll go through liner notes, check my facts, that kind of thing.
Which,
But-
incidentally, was a lot harder to do back in the 70s.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you only had a couple of, media outlets and rags that would talk about music.
Yep.
You were very dependent on the artist providing you something on the cover and connecting the dots that way,
Yeah.
or being, in tune with Rolling Stone.
Yep.
And there were a couple other magazines.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I tell you, the kids today, they've got... The dictionary is right there for them. The encyclopedia of music is all online.
It's all in their pocket.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They're very fortunate.
When you started Daily Dose of Vinyl, do you find, and again, during the pandemic, so people are looking for stuff like this, do you find just kind of an immediate surge of groups, or is it more like it took a little bit of time to catch on? Or
Well, what happened was I was initially posting in the main thread, and one of the admins reached out and said, hey, I'm getting complaints about the number of posts you're doing.
Why does everybody got to complain?
But she said, there's a lot of people that are really liking this, and it's adding a lot of positive energy to the platform. And hey, why don't you start up another thread that's uniquely in a group? And so I did that and pulled in roughly 40 people, and then over the course of maybe the last 6 months, it's grown to about 80. And maybe a few more will come online eventually.
That's cool.
It's all music and stories related to our life that are about the music and what they gave us at that particular time.
I just love how you just put something positive out there into the world, and it's growing, it sounds like, and people are digging it. The downside to next door is it's geographically very limiting. So, for example, if I want to be in your group, I can't.
Right, and I've locked it down to effectively the surrounding areas within
which is
Chapel
what next
Hill.
door is supposed to be.
Right, and that's what I want. That if we get together and we have a party, I'd like to know it's people that are all from around here, and we all have something right away in common because we follow in these threads.
We're having a party right now.
Absolutely.
This is a party. And speaking of WCOM, who do we have on the line?
Hey, this is Christopher Boone, and
Kevin's here too.
Kevin, Smokler, Christopher Boone. Welcome, guys. It's great to hear your voices.
Oh, thanks for having us.
We're thrilled to have you on. You're on with Erik, Kershaw, and Bernie Wade.
Loved your movie.
Absolutely. Watched it 3
Loved
times.
Oh, my God. Appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
It's very good.
Chris, Kevin, you're on with the official Carborough Chapel Hill fan club of Vinyl Nation. Right here, baby.
We love it. As you guys probably saw, we got to spend too little time in North Carolina filming Vinyl Nation, but we were there for 24 hours and enjoyed the hell out of it. So thank you for being so hospitable to all of us, and thank you for having us on, and thank you for watching the movie.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever come back in the area, you'll have to hit us up.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'd like that.
Chris, I'm glad to have you on the phone. We've never met before. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. So again, these guys are the co-directors of Vinyl Nation. For the North Carolina folks, remind us where you filmed in the making of the doc.
We were fortunate for our movie, to get to speak to Laura Balance, one of the co-founders of Merge Records in Durham. Laura was also, for the better part of her musical career, the bassist for the band Superchunk.
Superchunk.
Out of Chapel Hill, I believe.
Yeah.
And from there, we went to Winston-Salem and talked to Chris Livengood, who is the owner of Ember Audio in Winston-Salem.
Yes.
And was sort of our guide for the better part of the movie to the technical aspects of what happens when you put a needle to a plate of wax and what's going on in your ears and between them in your mind. And we knew Chris because Chris used to live here in San Francisco where I live, and he was actually the guy who sold me my stereo amplifier. So when he moved back home to Winston-Salem, where he was from, and it turned out that we were going to be able to shoot in Winston-Salem and in Durham in the same day, we knew he had to be in the movie.
Yeah, that Ember Audio. Have you guys seen that? You guys got to check that place out. That looks so cool, Kevin. That's awesome. Christopher Boone. Tell us what's up, man. Give us your background.
Kevin and I actually met in college. We both went to Johns Hopkins together in Baltimore, but we were 2 years apart. I was 2 years behind Kevin. But we traveled in similar circles because there was only a small group of people at the time in the early to mid-'90s that were like into film. Many years later, we reconnected over social media when Kevin was putting together a book on 80s teen movies that's called Brat Pack America, a love letter to 80s teen movies.
Yeah,
so if you're into 80s teen movies, I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
And as he finished that book up and was looking to go on tour around the country, he reached out over social media and said, hey, does anybody have a place that you think would have an audience for my book? And I said, yeah, why don't you come out to Albuquerque? Like, I know the independent theater here in town really well, and we could book like the Breakfast Club and do a screening of that and then do a little Q&A with you afterwards and pitch your book. And so we did it, and it went really, really well. I think it was a sellout, and Kevin sold a bajillion books. And it went so well, he's like, oh. And so I think Kevin came out here like 4 or 5 times in different movies and sold a lot of his books. It's probably this weird anomaly on his sales report, I'm sure. And after the last one, he said, hey, do you make movies? And I don't, but I have this idea for a documentary, and I'm curious about examining the resurgence of vinyl records. And a lot of newspaper and magazine articles have already been written about it, but I'm kind of curious to dig into it a little bit more and try to figure out what it means now that it's been going on for over a decade. Is that something that you'd be interested in?
Yeah.
And I told him I'd never made a documentary before, but my wife and I got a turntable, I think, in 2014. And started buying records. I worked at a record store the year after college, but that was after vinyl had essentially disappeared. But I was really excited to get into music again when I was buying records. And my daughter, who was a teenager, also got in a turntable shortly thereafter. And the fact that she was buying music in a physical format for the first time in her entire life, and it was records, was something that really intrigued me. So I was like, yeah, I think there's something to explore here. So that's essentially how the whole thing kind of got started.
Baby, don't treat me so.
Buckingham Nicks, pre-Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, I believe this is 73.
They're about 74, I believe. Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, prior to them joining Fleetwood Mac. Sounds just like Fleetwood Mac.
So welcome back, folks, to Dose of Vinyl. I've got Erik Kershaw and Bernie Wade in studio. I've got Christopher Boone and Kevin Smokler, co-directors of Vinyl Nation, calling in live. Chris is in Albuquerque. Kevin, I assume you're in California?
San Francisco, yeah.
So it's lunchtime. I'm sorry we interrupted your lunch or happy hour, whatever.
Oh, no, it's almost 3 o'clock. I had lunch 4 hours ago. I'm good.
What would it take to get your documentary in our neck of the woods?
Right,
no kidding.
right for the jugular. I like it.
Yeah.
In what format?
In the theater.
In the theaters. I mean, I'll be the first in line to buy it on DVD when it comes out, but we'd like to see it in the theaters.
We don't have a theatrical run scheduled. That doesn't mean we haven't been screening it all over the country. Kevin, do you want to talk a little bit about like how we've been going around the country with it, and then maybe we can talk about how we might be able to bring it other places?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we finished the filming of the movie in February of 2020, which was great timing.
Great
on our
timing.
part.
Beautiful timing.
Yeah, exactly. So it was pretty clear to us that whatever plans we had for getting this movie seen were going to have to be changed radically.
Yep.
And not coincidentally, our plans were scheduled to begin a month before Record Store Day, which typically happens in April. And we knew that record stores were going to be closed, and Record Store Day makes a huge difference in the year-end fortunes of everybody's favorite record stores.
Oh, absolutely.
And there was a potential tragedy on the horizon, because if record stores couldn't open for Record Store Day and they couldn't sell product, we were afraid we would emerge on the other end of this pandemic, and what Vinyl Nation would look like would be a letter from a lost civilization. All of the fantastic institutions that we had filmed at and been in communication with and supported us during the making of our movie were in peril.
Yeah.
So what we ended up doing in April of 2020, and it was Chris's idea. Chris said, here, you know what we're going to do? We're going to give our movie to record stores for one weekend, the weekend of Record Store Day, and we're going to let them sell tickets for $10 digitally.
Nice.
And they're going to get to keep all the money. And we're just going to use it as a way for independent record stores to keep the lights on and keep their employees paid during this terrible time.
That's awesome.
And it was the wildest weekend of our entire lives. Chris, I haven't known you your entire life, but I feel comfortable saying that.
I don't know.
We literally spent from the morning we woke up to the morning we went to sleep with Chris handling customer service and tech support, and me manning the social media channels as people from all over the world were trying to watch our movie in support of their favorite record stores.
Yeah.
What would it take for you guys to get yourselves aligned with a platform like Netflix or Amazon, given it's a documentary?
Yeah.
They seem to have quite a few documentaries out there.
Is that the direction?
We can't. We're not free to say what our plans are.
Oh, come on, guys. Come on.
We will say this. Exactly 2 years from the weekend we did that, we had that auspicious beginning on Record Store Day of 2020. Yeah. Exactly 2 days from that moment, anyone, anywhere will be able to see our movie come Record Store Day this year. That's what we can
That's great. Great.
More details as we get closer to that.
That's a nice reveal, though, guys.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
Your movie really relates to, I think, a great deal of people between the ages of probably 20 and 70. I absolutely loved it. Yeah. Well, I mean, from 1952 to 1982, teenagers, that was a guaranteed rite of passage. At some point or another, every kid's been in a record store.
But what I appreciated about the movie, there were a couple of little kids in there that were also
the new generation, absolutely.
Yeah. And there are young people getting into vinyl now. I actually know two back in my home state. I actually interviewed them, thinking I could bring some of that information to the table here.
Nice.
And they are very much into it.
Yeah.
They both started out collecting CDs. They got into vinyl and never looked back. It's really tremendous.
Well, there's something to be said for a platter spinning in your bedroom, the blacklight poster over your bed. And
no doubt.
That was one of the things that Kevin kind of brought to me early on, and just in our research phase. He's like, "This isn't if the resurgence has been going on for over a decade. it can't just be made up of people who have always been into vinyl records.
That's exactly right.
Right?
That's correct. It'll just die again.
So while it's great that it sounds like people like yourselves have constantly been into records and continue to buy records and collect records, and had the good fortune to be able to pick up some used records for not much money, if no money at all sometimes. This new wave had to be built on more than just who had been buying those records before. And so we talked early on about we really need to make sure that we're including young people in the documentary. We talked about parents sharing vinyl with their kids.
They're at a disadvantage, though. We paid typically under $7 for even double LPs back in the 70s. Yeah. And now a double LP, is $50 to $75.
I agree, there is that obstacle. But as somebody says in her movie, Jessa Zapa Gray points out, like an album, like a single LP today, new at $35 seems outrageous. But in 1977, that's an $8 record.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's just inflation. Yeah. And as you can see in our film, nothing has changed in how we make records, basically. Yeah, it's an extremely hands-on process to actually press a record, to inspect a record, to make record jackets, and to get them to the warehouses and the record stores. Yeah, and that's a lot of money, but it's also what makes records what they are and really cool today. And so in order to do that, and it takes a certain amount of time, as we say in the film, to make a record. It can't really be sped up if you're going to do it right. And so, $35 that feels like a pain point. But again, it's just basically what you would have been paying for a new record in 1977, when you just account for inflation. So what's really crazy to me is that you can find, there are plenty of new records that are coming out. They're being priced at like $20. And, maybe it's an indie band or something like that. And there are a lot of young people that are buying those records, especially at merch tables when they're able to get back to concerts, right? And they're buying them sometimes just because they just love the band so much, and it's a really cool piece of artwork that they want to put up on their walls. And I thought that was untrue. When we were starting our research, I was like, there's nobody who's actually buying records that doesn't have a turntable. No, we met them. We talked to a lot of them. And they're like, after I had about 10 or 20 records, I realized maybe I should buy a turntable to listen to it. So it's that young generation that was really one facet that we wanted to make sure we explored, and we wanted to make sure that we made a movie that would appeal to those people, but also would appeal to people who have never collected records at all.
I think you guys hit a home run.
But we're curious about it.
Yeah, I agree.
I have an idea for a screening. If there's a window of time between right now and Record Store Day, so the Chelsea Theater here in Chapel Hill, Diana Newton, actually, she's coming on my show on this station pretty soon. They have a next door vinyl group that gets together and talks. If we could put together a screening at a local theater here, is that something that could happen?
Yeah, I think it would have to happen this way. Like, we have to let things play out with the distribution arrangements we have in place.
Okay.
However, there is nothing in that arrangement that prohibits an independent theater for saying, we'll program the movie for a weekend and promote it to our local community and groups that would be interested in it like yours. There's nothing to stop that from happening.
And I would be happy to put that together. Yeah, like a special one night only, one weekend only. You know, we sell some tickets. With these guys, we could promote the heck out of it. Yeah, I think people are ready to get back into theater, guys. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Already been, saw Spider-Man.
We screened at over 50 film festivals over the past year or so. A lot of that was virtual, but prior to Omicron, there was a lot over the summer that was in person, and we've done some other special screenings as well. Given the community that you're talking about here, and I think earlier in the show you might have talked about used kids records, and there are other stores as well. Like, if you do decide to do something, we definitely want to encourage that and work with you to make it happen.
Yes.
If you can get a record store on board as well, and maybe even do either something in conjunction with them, or even they come to the screening, the location, and do a little pop-up. Because all I know is after you watch this movie, you'll be hankering to buy more records. So if you do something like that, or have a little after party at a record store.
We like to say, like, we totally understand it when people look at their empty wallets after going to the record store and being like, oh man, that's going to hurt a little bit. We also like to say the best cure for thinking records cost too much money is use records and crate digging, i.e. avenues to finding records that are cheaper.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of kids who are like, man, I'd love to get into records, but like, I can't go to the record store and spend $40. And we're like, do you know about Discogs? And they're like, no, what's Discogs? And we're like, oh, Jesus. Like, we're Superfly, and we just gave the kid his first taste for free.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been
Nice.
cataloging mine on there for quite a while. I hope to maybe get that done while I'm in my retirement.
All right, guys. Chris, Kevin, hang out, please, for a minute. We have to say goodbye to Erik Kershaw, Bernie Wade, who have a dose of vinyl on next door. Guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for
in.
having us.
I've got a special poster from Vinyl Nation signed by Kevin and Chris for both of you all
Thank you.
as a gift for being here today. I want one of you to set the record up that we're about to hear, and then any last words?
So the record is Alice in Chains. I think he's putting on Rotten Apple, maybe, from Jar of Flies. This is a collectible. It's a European print. It's a first edition. So this is back in '94. And my son must have paid well over $150 to give this to me for Christmas this year.
Nice. Good gift, son.
Not too bad.
Any last words?
No, not really. Just enjoyed doing this.
We'll come back.
Definitely like to do it again.
Yeah. Oh, that crackle. Love that crackle. Alice in Chains. Oh, thank you for bringing that. So thanks again, Erik, Kershaw, Bernie Wade. That was awesome having those guys call in. If you live in Chapel Hill, check out A Daily Dose of Vinyl on Nextdoor. And you can find a good plumber there, too. Let's welcome him in, Grateful Dave. Singer-songwriter legend, Erik Sommer. How are you, sir?
Well, Chris, thanks for having me, and good to be part of this great afternoon that y'all have put together. Outstanding with my favorite people. There's Lonesome Dave and Erik and
Bernie. Not Bernie Mac, Bernie Wade. Oh,
yes, exactly.
I've got Bernie Mac is no longer with us. What did I say? Oh,
no, he's
no longer with us.
No longer with us. Gone, but not forgotten.
Well, welcome, brother. And how cool is it that we have the Vinyl Nation dudes?
That's so amazing.
Erik Sommer, singer-songwriter, tremendous performer. I saw you live at this show right here, Erik.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
The Nash Street Tavern in beautiful Hillsborough, North Carolina.
Beautiful Hillsborough, North Carolina.
You're on with Kevin and Chris from Vinyl Nation.
Hey, guys, love what you're doing. And I have a blog called The Grand Debris. I have a whole section about great record stores. And I started out in records. I worked for Strawberries in Boston when...
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And then Strawberries in Harvard Square, Strawberries in Copley Square. And Freddie Mercury came in, Queen came in on their, 74 or 75 tour. And I had them down in the back having pizza with me. And Freddie Mercury just going crazy. And
get out of here.
Yeah, and I did all the promo for their day, but... What a great band. Anyway, I'm a big fan of what you're doing, and that's Lost World Vinyl. And there's a great record store in Ann Arbor. It's just massively huge.
I'm from Ann Arbor, so Encore Recordings, which has been around, I believe, since the early 80s.
That's
still around.
That's it.
That's a great shop. They recently moved to the Carytown Marketplace from the old location on Liberty Street.
That's the one.
The other one, which is sadly no longer around, is PJ's.
Oh, yeah.
Which was a famous record store and had a very close relationship with the Ann Arbor Jazz Festival.
Sure.
And had great jazz recordings, and later became infamous because it was a notorious digging spot for the late great Jay Dilla out of Detroit. Jay Dilla and his buddies would frequently get in the car and go to Ann Arbor and would dig for jazz records at PJ's.
Oh man. So amazing.
So many of his now classic recordings were made with platters from PJ.
That's so amazing. You know, when I was in high school, I worked at a place called WBCN, a brand new radio station on Stewart Street, way down. I mean, so far into Boston that people didn't even speak English; they spoke Boston. And it was a radio station. I was in high school and I volunteered. I wasn't even thinking. I volunteered to work the morning 3 a.m. shift to 9, but I had to be in class, and it was ridiculous.
Holy cow.
And they realized that the same day I realized that. And Peter Wolf, who started that station and ran it, and Charles Laquadera, Peter Wolf from the Jay Giles Band, and Charles Laquadera from the Big Mattress, who became pretty big. We all realized what I had done, and they said, "Yeah, that's the end of this." And they gave me 2 tickets to a place called the Catacombs. That following Saturday, I picked up these 2 girls in Harvard Square, got a bottle of blackberry brandy, hitchhiked down Mass Ave to the Catacombs. Baby. The original Berkeley was right on Boylston Street, and there was a place there called Jack's Drum Shop. And this was 5 flights down under the Mass Pike. And we went down there with these girls, blackberry brandy. It's like, I didn't even know anything about anything. And who comes at? It's John Lee Hooker opening for the Jay Giles Band.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was a life-changing experience. And Rolling Stone wrote about it as one of the 100 greatest rock and roll moments of all time.
Yeah, Boston remains one of the great music towns in America. We were fortunate to have Vinyl Nation screen at the New Brattle Theater.
Oh, nice.
On their virtual platform, and at the Beverly Cinema in Beverly.
Beverly's great.
We're good friends of the folks at Vanya-Land, that fantastic music publication out of Boston.
Oh, yeah.
If you stop for a minute and you say one town gave you the Jay Giles Band, the Pixies, New Edition, and Donna Summer, you sort of don't need to you don't need to go any further than that.
Cars, a neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's an amazing music town. And we hope from our movie what people get is that concurrent with the comeback of records has been the comeback of record stores, and we hope in a post-pandemic world, the comeback of live music venues.
Don't forget the Dropkick Murphys guys from Boston. Come on, man.
Yeah, Dropkick, yeah, absolutely.
I thought you were going to
I'm
say, don't
shipping
forget
up to
Marky Mark
Boston.
and the Funky Bunch.
When we found out, you know what, people at like Amoeba Records in Hollywood love your movie, we're like, well, we're not surprised about that. You know, it's the second biggest record store in America. And that doesn't surprise anybody. But when we would get notes from people saying, we're a record exchange in downtown Boise, Idaho, and we're incredible vinyl heads over here and over here in Boise, and we have fantastic music venues and a great music scene and great record stores, and we all love vinyl.
Yeah.
We're like, well, that's why we put Nation in the name of the movie.
Good for you.
We really believe record people are everywhere, and the comeback is proof of that.
Isn't that where the vinyl tree grows?
What's that?
Out in Boise?
Tell me more.
The vinyl tree.
If there's something called the vinyl tree, then
Well, yeah, it's an ecological amazement. It just grows, and then records grow off of it. Yeah, you didn't know
fantastic.
that?
Like, whoever said records don't grow on trees.
Exactly. Thank you. Bottle of champagne, table 12. Where are you guys? I'm going to send you a cocktail right now.
That's beautiful.
I worked for Roulette and Pyramid Records in New York, and they sent me up one day with their new artist, Jay Black from Jay and the Americans. Remember those guys?
Sure.
He lived out on Far Rockaway. So they picked me up in this black, huge Lincoln, and everybody had guns. And we drove up to Connecticut, where I managed to, I didn't know what I was doing. I managed to get him an interview on air in a small station.
Wow.
So he goes in there, and he looks around, and he goes, man, my hairdryer's got more watts than the station. End of story. They said, that's it. No thanks. Close the door. We had to drive all the way back with Jay Black just screaming in the car.
Oh, my.
I know. More crazy stuff. But listen, totally support your vinyl strategy, and anything I can do to help, just let me know.
We sure appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
Eric, have you ever put anything out on vinyl or considered it?
I have.
Yeah.
I was with a band called the Atomics in Boston.
The Atomics?
We had 5 big records.
That's cool.
It was very cool. And then we all broke up one night in Providence, Rhode Island on a show with the Dead Kennedys, Mission of Burma, Gang of 4.
Whoa.
Mission of Burma is another Boston band, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And I don't know what happened. Nobody went home with their wives or girlfriends. Nobody ever called anybody ever again after that. So I don't even know where the guys are.
My.
But we had a great 5 or 6 year run with the Atomics.
If you're out there, guys, let's get the band back together. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, John Martin, where are you? Tom Smith, come on, baby.
Eric's brought a guitar into the studio, so I'm going to get him to start slicing that thing up. Are you just about ready, Erik?
I was born ready.
Christopher Boone, before we let you go, anything else on your mind?
This has been great to just kind of hang out and talk records and hear great stories.
Yeah, thank you guys. Call back anytime. The film, if people want to find out, it's just vinylnationfilm.com. And Kevin Smokler, the last word from the Vinyl Nation crew.
Our favorite thing about doing this is meeting record people all over this great land and learning that record people truly are everybody. It's why we made the movie in the first place.
Before you go,
go ahead.
Do you remember a guy named Jeep Holland? How about Joe Pope? Big Elvis collectors.
Is this a joke?
No. It's my roommate in Boston, Mitch Diamond from Roulette and Pyramid Records. I mean, Mitch Diamond from Rounder. He was with Rounder for years. But,
wow.
It's a great label.
When I was at Strawberries, Jeep Holland, he drank about a quart of whiskey a day and was, just a bin hound. I mean, he was just always running the bins.
Wow.
Always checking everything, going up and down, ordering, and he had pieces of paper coming out of his pockets everywhere. And he used to stick pieces of paper under his glasses so he wouldn't forget where they were. And he was just, and then one day at his home, he had stairs that went up to the second floor. And stairs, the rise and tread of those stairs are perfect for storing 45s. So he had half of the stairs blocked off with 45s. Endless records. And he had one of his rooms was floor to ceiling vinyl, and he shut it really hard one day, and the shelf collapsed. It was just, those days it was pine wood and cinder blocks, and he couldn't get in there for like a month. It just shut up. All the records came down. They couldn't open the door. It was terrible.
Oh, my goodness. That's wild.
How you like that?
I love
There
it.
is such a thing as a vinyl emergency, apparently.
There it is. That could be the name of this show, a vinyl emergency.
Well, check
Yeah.
out that vinyl tree, please.
That's
and,
awesome.
If you find it, I'd
happy
love a
to.
seedling.
All right.
I'll bring a watering can. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll trim a branch or two and replant it.
Chris and Kevin, thanks so much, guys. We'll let you go, and we'll catch you down the road, and I will follow up on a possible screening here in Carborough Chapel Hill, if that's cool.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
for
guys.
having us.
Take care, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
How cool. Chris Boone, Kevin Smokler, Vinyl Nation.
Amazing.
It's awesome.
Amazing.
By the way, the brainchild of this show is the one and only Grateful Dave.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
he's
Here
the
he
man
is.
with the ideas. He makes
Yeah.
these things happen. He holds this station together. So how about a little lick for Grateful
Oh,
Dave?
Dave.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, live, Erik Sommer.
High cost of living getting me down. It's getting so expensive, can't even hang around. Kids all shop at Goodwill, have lunch at Walmart. It's dinner at Family Dollar in the parking lot. Good job I had gone and left town. Got a note in the mail with a $5 bill. So thanks, buddy. See you around. Now they're building a new plant in Juarez, Mexico. My job won't be coming back. That's what they tell me so. Bought all that crap you sold me on TV. Those low monthly payments were just right for me. Now the bills just keep coming, they're clogging up the hall, and another couple of days won't have any room at all. High cost of living is getting me down. It's getting so expensive, can't even hang around. The kids all shop at Goodwill, have lunch at Walmart. It's dinner at Family Dollar in the parking lot.
Woo!
Tried to buy a house, that mortgage was a crime. I went to the bank, tried to get some more money, they wouldn't lend me a dime. I tried to raise some money, put the wife and kids up for sale. Police came by, took me down, couldn't even make my bail. High cost of living getting me down. It's getting so expensive, can't even hang around. Kids all shop at Goodwill, have lunch at Walmart. It's dinner at Family Dollar in the parking lot. It's dinner at Family Dollar in the parking lot. It's dinner at Family Dollar in the parking lot.
Erik Sommer live at WCOM, baby.
Woo! And hey, here's Grateful Dave, Lonesome Dave.
Yeah, they're letting me out in front of the building here, out of the cage, folks.
That's great.
We had to wait for the second hour to let Dave on a microphone.
I
Finally.
understand.
Not very kid friendly, that's for sure.
But you guys are doing a wonderful thing. And thanks for keeping this wonderful, wonderful radio station going, man.
Oh yeah, Dave and Donald, man, they do it all.
Tell you,
It gets under your skin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's addictive.
Like a virus.
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
is the radio virus.
Yeah, they come in, they say the first one's free. You give you a show, and next thing you know, you're here for 2 or 3
That's
years,
right.
and just you
Yeah.
never stop. You
But
know?
the thing about these,
15
for
years
everybody
later.
out there in Radio Land, please
right.
support this great station that's still here, moving to a bigger space, like
we're working on
the
it.
size of a
Thanks for that,
football
Erik. Yeah,
field.
we are 100% volunteer driven, so there's nothing that goes except to pay the rent, keep the lights on,
Hey,
and keep the music flowing.
Line them up single file.
So if you have a donation, send it to my house, and I'll make sure it gets its way over to WCOM. No, I'm kidding. We have a couple cool fundraisers coming up. We're having the WCOM Friends and Family Fiesta fundraiser, Dave.
outstanding.
I changed the name, Friends and Family Fiesta fundraiser. We're gonna have live music. Kids Zoo's gonna be there. The Art Center's gonna be there. Our old partner, the Art Center. I'm talking to Rainbow Soccer. They might do a little soccer thing for the kids. Our good friends at Vicino and Steel String Brewery. Saturday, April 23rd, Dave. Around 2 o'clock, the fun kicks off. So we got that coming up.
Anybody got a spare C note out there? Got $100? Send it in.
Send it in.
We'll send you a T-shirt. We'll send you a CD. We'll send you a signed poster of me, Lonesome Dave, and Mr. Chris. We'll all sign it. Give you guys some good swag.
I wanted you to sign this for me, but we'll
Of
give it away.
course.
You
No, we
send
got-
us $100. Send us $50 and it's yours.
Let's go for the high dollar.
Let's go $100. That's right.
$100. Let's make it easy for everybody.
Round it off to 100.
Round it up, yeah.
So, Erik, are you from Michigan?
Oh no, but I played through Michigan, the Arc. I was in Ann Arbor for so many times. Played through
Just
there.
playing gigs. You never lived there.
Playing shows. Never lived
Okay.
there. And then I used to play on the street in Ann Arbor when I was coming up.
Busking?
Yeah, because when you're on the road, sometimes you just need cash and you got to do whatever. And so I used to play right or up the street a couple blocks in front of the Arc, and went to the Friendship Diner, which has the best hash, the best hippie hash.
Nice. Wait, hash. Just to be clear, hash the food or the?
I just woke
Oh
up,
yes,
guys.
good point. Excuse me, man. What's going on? It was just wonderful because I was listening to that Simon and Garfunkel record, that song about. It took me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw, so I went to find Saginaw. Ended up playing there for years at Dave's Bar.
Not Grateful Dave's bar.
No.
there's Dave. No.
There's more than one Dave. I'm
There's
sorry.
only one Grateful Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave. There's only one Grateful
Breaking
Dave.
my heart, guys. I'm gonna
I
cry.
hear you. I know. So sorry. But this place was wonderful, and it was a little hole in the wall, but it was the home of Michigan rock. On the
there on the
wall,
lake, yeah.
on the wall, it had framed photographs of Bob Seger and Bell Bottoms.
Yeah, baby.
Bob Seger, the MC5, and it had a question mark in the Mysterians. It was a great Ann Arbor band.
That's cool.
Remember they did 96 Tears?
Yeah.
And they're just a Grand Funk Railroad, and there's so many Michigan bands, and it was just one of those little hole in the wall.
But where are you from, Erik?
Outer
space?
Lost to antiquity.
Yeah, that's right. I used to know. I couldn't remember at one station. No, I grew up in Southeast Asia.
Really?
Yeah, my dad was in Vietnam for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
I learned to play guitar when I was about 5. We were there, and I got a.
Wow. Did you know that?
My dad. It was really a difficult time then because there's a lot going on, and Bangkok was a very dangerous place.
Yeah.
And so to keep me in the compound, they got me a guitar, a Sears Silvertone guitar.
Wow.
One of his friends showed me a few chords, and being the precocious person.
Son of a biscuit. That's what we say at my house.
Oh!
Son of a biscuit.
Man, you stopped that one. So I practiced and I learned some stuff, and all we could get at the PX was Montevideo Orchestra, Perry Como, and just really atrocious, but interesting.
Yeah.
And so I practiced and I learned some stuff, and I couldn't find anything, couldn't ever get Bob Dylan, so I wrote my own songs. One day when I was about 12, I got a job downtown Bangkok playing guitar on Saturday afternoons for the GIs
Oh my
on
goodness.
R&R from Saigon.
How old are you at that?
12, 13.
Oh my gosh.
They were thrilled to have, Farang, American,
Yeah.
guitar player in their piano bar. And
That's
just
cool.
met a lot of people. And then one guy, Staff Sergeant Jim Hall, came in one day and said some nice things, and came back the next week, said a few nice things, and came back the following week and took me aside and said, "Look, you're doing this all wrong." And he gave me a set of finger picks and showed me how to play Freight Train. So I played that for, exactly.
Libby-Cotton's Freight Train.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How does that go? I don't have my acoustic.
Yes. They just did a Libby-Cotton day. They just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the memorial sign is like right across the street here. Yeah.
There it is.
Sorry, that was on electric. It's pretty bad.
That sounded pretty good to me.
So that's where I.
Right beside Weaver Street Market, I think that empty space is going to be the Libby-Cotton Park or something.
How
like
wonderful!
That's right, yeah.
Because she was born on Lloyd Street.
Yeah, right
over here.
across the street here.
Yeah, by Rice Glass, right up that street.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, how did you come across Erik?
He actually is a guitar teacher, among other things.
Yeah.
And teaches one of Jenny's boys.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah. So, and he's making great progress. It's been a breakthrough for William.
He's with me on Thursday afternoon, so I have a sort of a set program for him. We're always learning new chords and new stuff. And so I came in, gave him pretty complicated sheet. It was 4 or 5 chords in a row in 4 different progressions in 4 different time signatures, 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, and we sat down. William looked at it, and he played it flawlessly. Never looked at it again. Memorized it instantly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I told Jenny, savant.
Yeah, my brother's like that, man. He could just hear something once and play it. That is super cool.
Isn't that beautiful?
You ready to hit him with another song?
I would be most happy to.
Hold on, let me give you a big intro here.
Please.
It's going to be the best intro you've ever gotten.
Let me get the right guitar out for the right.
We're going acoustic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special treat for the WCOM listeners. Here on A Dose of Vinyl, on the acoustic guitar, we have Erik Sommer on the plugged-in acoustic guitar, Dave.
Live in the studio.
Live in the studio, Erik Sommer. Here we go.
Had a long night in Virginia last night, so.
Is that the name of the song, A Long Night in Virginia?
It is.
Hey, Chris.
Hang on, caller. Enjoy this jam, and then we'll get right to you.
A-okay.
Is that a girl on the phone? Take that call.
Yeah, we better take it. Yeah,
what's the matter with you?
We don't get very many females calling in. WCOM. Who do we have?
Pick that phone up, darn it.
Hey, it's Jessa Rhodes. How you guys doing?
Jessa Rhodes.
Jessa Rhodes.
Finally.
Hey,
yeah.
I am loving the show. I so appreciate all of you guys. So thank you so much for putting this together.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, it's great. Are you getting other callers yet?
We cleared the phone line so we could get to you.
Oh, that's great. How do I make a donation? Because I really want to support the radio station.
So you send it to Chris Amsbury, 105 Rifson.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Don't listen to Chris.
I'm kidding.
You want?
Very easy
Dave and
to
I could
find.
use some funds also.
That'll go to my pocket.
I'll give you all 5% each.
Okay, that's good.
WCOMFM.org is our website. WCOMFM.org. And there's just a donate button right there on the top. It's huge now.
Yeah,
that was
it's
a
easy to
good.
find,
That was a good. Thank you. We appreciate that because you guys are right. If this, we got to raise funds. We got to make this station happen. So
We do.
yeah.
And I'll send some money in. I hope other folks do. What's the possibility of having a vinyl hour once a week on the station? I think it'd be a great idea.
A vinyl hour once a week. Are you a collector, or what's your deal with?
I just love live music, and I really love the artwork on the covers.
Yes.
So that's my connection is the covers, and it's kind of like a real book, right? The paper book, the smell and the feel of it.
A vinyl hour. Well, I got
I'm recruiting the Dose of Vinyl guys, and I think
got the main man
they're
right here.
interested here. So I think we might be able to make that happen.
Hey, Jessa Rhodes, Erik Sommer here.
Yeah.
Hey, it's funny that you mentioned. Hey, it's funny that you mentioned that because Blue Note, which is a jazz record label, had Reed Miles, who designed the record covers for all the big jazz records in the 50s and 60s
That's awesome.
and 70s, and those are iconic.
Yeah.
It's a study in art all unto itself. He was such a master. All that early
Absolutely.
Blue Note, all the things that he did. Anyway, so glad that you that you mentioned that.
Erik Kershaw had a really nice collection.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet.
We were looking at some albums last week, like the King Crimson album and the Jethro Tull album.
Yeah.
And
he brought those.
You know,
I saw those. Yeah.
He's got an amazing
They're
collection.
just stunning. The art is fabulous.
Are
So
you-
I really appreciate everything about vinyl.
Are you in his next door group?
I am.
That's good.
Yeah.
You should be.
I
You
love
know-
it. It's really fun.
Yeah, Jessa Rhodes is also sort of a bon vivant around town.
She does it all.
Does it all.
knows
Knows everybody, does it all.
I've seen her name around town.
Yeah, I've heard her name around town.
Everybody loves Jessa.
Yeah, it's amazing, and she's a stellar star of the microphone. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, she is.
Is she?
Oh, you guys are kind. I will get back to my cocktail, but you guys enjoying the show and
What about us?
I'll
Yeah,
talk
we're-
to everybody
wait a
later.
minute. Wait
Hold
a
on.
minute.
Where's our cocktails?
Gretchen and I are drinking cocktails at Luna.
Hello, Gretchen. Thank
Hello,
you,
Gretchen.
guys. I love Luna, by the way. Kevin Smokler said something interesting. Not tonight, well, tonight, but on my show when I had him on. They didn't make the film. The resurgence was already there. They're just documenting it.
Yeah.
It's already happened. It's not like something that might be cool in the future.
You know,
I love it.
Digital is one thing, but you can't see it, you can't touch it,
Yeah.
you can't read it. It doesn't give you a feeling, doesn't give you a message, doesn't speak to you, and you can't hold it and fold it and rock
That
it.
whole process thing is like a tea ceremony.
Critical.
You can have a glass of tea, but you can have a tea ceremony. It's a completely different experience.
That's right, Dave.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, Jessa, we'll let you go. Enjoy Luna. If 3 cocktails happen to be sitting around that aren't being consumed, bring them over to the station.
Okay,
And
we'll do.
We'll catch you down the road. Thank you so much.
Thanks
All
for
right,
calling.
see you. Bye, guys.
And how about Erik Sommer live in studio?
Sorry, just getting this.
I'll talk over your tuning. Wink at me when you're ready to play, Erik.
Yeah, I had a show in somewhere up in Virginia last night, and the stage was so small, even the rats were hunchbacked. In fact, it was a town so small, 2nd Avenue was in the next town over.
Nice. My brother makes guitars for a living, by
Really?
the way. Yeah, he works for Gibson in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they ever sort that whole thing out?
Which thing? They've gone through a couple of changes, but the heart of the Gibson's always been the same
They
thing.
took all their wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't give it back.
I heard about that, but I know from a production standpoint, they're gangbusters right now.
No question.
Yeah.
So this is a little song called all these great people are walking by the walking by the window.
Wait till you come on my show at 10 o'clock at night and you see it's a different vibe at 10
Can't wait.
p.m.
Want to be there. I'll bring the amps. We'll rock it hard. That's
Yes,
great.
I love it.
So everybody, don't forget to listen to Chris Amsbury. Did I say that correct?
There's no you. It's Amsbury.
Amsbury.
Yeah. But tonight's not about me. It's about you guys. It's about the talent, Erik. I'm just the guy behind the talent. Hi, a bunch of cute little kids. I bet there's some event at the Art Center or something. Yeah. We're seeing cute little kids with tacos coming out.
Oh, what a day I had. What a day. Oh, I had. I saw Jesus in the corner by the grocery store floor. Said, I believe in you. Can you help me get some more? I'm a sinner and a coward and I'm hollow to the core. I'll believe in you if you show me a sign from the floor. And all my dreams and all my demons fall. Get rid of this disease. Get some happiness fall on me. Oh, what a day I had. What a day. Oh, I had. I saw St. Peter coming out of the back of the room. He was holding on to a track auto catalog in the gloom. I said, St. Peter, can you tell me what can I do? Well, save this crazy world. And all my dreams and all my demons fall. Get rid of this disease. Let some happiness fall on me. I took my hand and covered my eyes. I took my hand and covered my ears. I took my hand and covered my eyes, so I don't have to hear those lies. And all my dreams and all my demons fall. Get rid of this disease. Let some happiness fall on me.
Baby. Nice. Erik Sommer live, baby.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
My buddy Raj was supposed to be part of the show tonight. Raj Shah. He had to deal with some family health issues with his parents. So, Raj, we're thinking of you, brother, and hope your parents are okay and everything works out as best as possible.
I went through that with my parents, so.
And he's a big vinyl collector, too, and just a good buddy of mine.
I'm sorry I didn't bring any vinyl. I had it by the door, but, man.
Well, after the Erik Kershaw's collection, man, you don't want to, anything would pale.
That's just great.
That's his passion.
Yeah, and he does a great job. And if the vinyl, what is it, the Vinyl Club?
Yeah, Dose of Vinyl.
A Dose of Vinyl on Nextdoor.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. Every day, Erik's up there doing stuff.
He's a madman with that thing. Some days he'll post 5 or 10 albums.
Yeah,
I can't keep up with him. They come so fast.
Yeah.
And he's always got something to say about each one,
Yep.
Those guys need their own show.
They really do.
That's what Jessa Rose was talking about. A weekly. There needs to be those guys.
Yeah, we need to put the screws to them and say, come on, do it.
I'm going to talk to them. I've got an idea. If we can figure out
a
way to maybe help with funds, maybe just in year one, and
Or
get it in their blood.
There's a lot of great businesses picking up. Oh, there's a auto parts store across the street. They should sponsor it.
There you go.
Record store
They
down
should
the road,
sponsor
they
it.
could sponsor
Yeah,
it.
Hickory Tavern. What the hell's that? They should sponsor it.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are they? They should sponsor it.
They should step up and sponsor it. It doesn't take much. And there's, what's that? Big Ears Coffee? No.
Big.
What's the
Well,
name
they're
of
not
that?
going to sponsor it now, Gray Squirrel.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
No. It's right around the corner.
Blind Eye, Open Eye?
Open Eye. The Open Eye Cafe. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of great businesses in this wonderful town of ours.
That would be ideal for
Have
doing
you
this.
ever played the station before?
I have played there quite a few times.
What's a normal year for you?
150
shows?
No, more than that. Close to 300.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, but I really believe in that.
You're a troubadour, man.
Well, I believe in the old school,
Yeah, you do.
The whole idea is I can play this stuff at home in my room all day long. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
The whole point is to communicate right things that matter for people who care about things that are important.
Yeah.
I really love when people put things out into the world.
Yep.
Just put your creativity out there and
Share it with the world, yeah.
maybe someone will like it, maybe they
Yeah.
won't. Do you have a favorite room?
I like them all.
Besides WCOM, besides playing.
No, dude, I live for this place.
This is the place to
Yeah,
be.
no, there's no.
We
other
know
place.
we're the best, but what's second best?
Right. Would be this place. No, I don't do that. They're all good.
yeah.
Each room has its own vitality, its own magic, its own presence. And the station is wonderful because they have one of the best stages you could imagine. It's great lighting and great sound. And Rob DeMoro does a hell of a job.
Rob, yeah, he's a good dude.
And he knows a lot, too. He knows a lot of...
Cares about the bands.
Yeah, and he's quite the player himself.
Yeah.
But shouts out to you, Rob.
Rob's a good dude.
You're rocking it over there, and when all is said and done, they're still around.
Another Rob I'm a big fan of is Rob Walsh, the owner of Local 506.
Oh, yeah.
On Franklin. I had him on my show. He's a wild man.
Yeah, that's great.
He's a lifer and a cool dude, and he does good stuff over there, too. So.
And while we're talking about local lore, don't forget to support our little music store here.
You got, not present day, what's it called?
It used to be Carborough Music. Now it's...
I'll edit this part out where we can't remember stuff.
Okay,
Don't worry.
yeah, thank you very much.
What's it called, Dave? It's right over here.
The guy who runs it, Brian, does a really great job.
Isn't it All Day Records?
It's the actual music store, guitars.
Oh yeah, it's not so-called Carbo Music.
No, it
Main
isn't.
Street Music.
It's
something.
Boy,
yeah.
we're really good at plugs.
Oh man, sorry,
Guys. We're actually hurting these businesses.
I know. This is all right.
Anyway, they have great they have great guitars and they do a lot of great stuff. Oh my God.
Oh well. Normally I don't care about ending on time, but I got Grateful Dave here, so here we go. Erik Sommer live, baby.
I love you, baby, put that bottle down. I don't want to see you falling down. Stay here tonight, let's get you right. Baby, put that bottle down. Well, she sobers up and she starts to thinking she loves me crazy when she's been drinking. I love her right back, I'm always thinking, baby, put that bottle down. Is this cross-eyed love or am I still drinking? She's gonna wake up and get to thinking. She's gotta know her world is sinking. Baby, put that bottle down. Then the morning comes and the trouble starts. Few angry words and it all blows up. There's a bad moon all through the day. Doesn't matter what I say. Love you, baby, put that bottle down. I don't wanna have you falling down. Stay here tonight, let's get you right. Baby, put that bottle down. Morning comes and the trouble starts. A few angry words and it all blows up. Doesn't matter all through the day. Bad moon anyway. Love you, baby, put that bottle down. I don't want to see you falling down. Stay here tonight, let's get you right. Baby, put that bottle down. Well, she's trying to focus, thinking hocus pocus. Maybe cast a spell and get her right. Things look dark in the light of day. That's what a broken heart will say. Well, that ain't us, let's take this bus. Let's go looking for a brand new date. Let's climb this mountain, come on, climb this mountain, it'll be alright. You gotta put that bottle down. Well, I love you, baby, put that bottle down. I don't want to see you falling down. Stay here tonight, let's get you right. Baby, put that bottle down. Baby, put that bottle down. Baby, put that bottle down.
Erik Sommer live, folks. WCOM. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who contributed to Dose of Vinyl. Matt Gray. We haven't said his name tonight.
Thank Matt Gray for the poster.
Matt Gray made our killer posters.
Killer poster.
Thank you, Matt. Let's go with Christopher Boone and Kevin Smokler from Vinyl Nation. Thanks a bunch to Erik Kershaw, Bernie Wade.
Erik and Bernie. Erik and Bernie.
Join us, boys. Join us. I can tell they want to, too, by the way. They want to spin some records on this live. Erik Sommer, thank you so much for performing live, coming in.
It is my pleasure.
Regaling us with your stories from the road.
That was just a taste.
And the thing wouldn't have and couldn't have happened without Grateful Dave.
Oh, Grateful Dave, the man of the hour.
A.K.A. Lonesome Dave.
Lonesome Dave, Grateful Dave, the high Lonesome Dave.
High Lonesome Dave. That's pretty good. Dave, your show is Tuesday night?
Tuesdays at 6 p.m.
Dave's show is Grateful Dave's High Lonesome, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock for 2 hours. My show, The Chris or Jenny Show, I do 2 a month and Jenny does 2 a month. She's a real DJ. I just get on and BS like what I'm doing right now.
It's okay.
Friday nights, we're getting ready to move to 9. We're moving to 9 o'clock on April 1st. Yeah.
Sign me up.
I've had so many guests who are like, oh, yeah, I'll be there live in the studio. And then I'll be like, it's at 10 p.m. They're like, I'll call in.
It's past my bedtime.
I had one guest recently thought it was at 10 a.m.
Oops.
Yeah.
So-
Rock and roll at 10 a.m.
We're going to bust out of here pretty soon. Again, thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, WCOMFM.org if you want to contribute, if you like what you heard and want to be part of the station.
And if you want to read the blog that I have, the Grand Debris,
Yeah.
and the thing about all the record stores, Ann Arbor,
What's it called again?
Strawberries, it's called the Grand Debris.
The Grand Debris, if you want to check out Erik Sommer's
ErikSommer.com.
ErikSommer.com, SOMMER.
Yep.
And then,
You'll find it there.
a daily dose of vinyl on next
Daily
door if
Dose
you're
of
on that.
Vinyl.
And any last words before we get the hell out of here?
Chris, where are you from?
Originally Huntington, West Virginia.
I have played Huntington. Let's see, the Boulevard Cafe.
Get out of here.
Yeah. And,
Nice.
and then up to Charleston.
Oh, yeah. Charleston's got some cool music venues.
Oh, yeah.
Empty Glass.
Yeah, oh,
Something
played there
like that.
so many times.
That's a cool venue.
Yeah, it's like King's in Boston. It was in Harvard Square, and it was there for years and years and years. It used to host John Lincoln Wright and the Sour Mash Boys,
Nice.
place I had my first professional